start from scenes in the basement, a history of Halloween horror now on sale at Amazon.com. One of the more enduring symbols of Halloween horror and folklore is that of the witch. Ugly and evil, they are shown flying on their broomsticks or stirring their cauldrons, which were not always thought of as evil or ugly. In ancient times, witches could be healers or wise women of the community, but as Christianity spread, they were often condemned because their power supposedly came from somewhere other than God. Later accusations of witchcraft often were used as a way to keep talented, intelligent women from threatening the male supremacy of the day. They also could be used to make people toe the line with regard to community standards. Anyone who has thought of as different or rebellious could be accused. Those men were often accused as much as women. The focus of witchcraft on medieval women can be seen in what has become the symbols of witchcraft: the broom, the cauldron, pot, and the cat. All of these are associated with the household and women's work. Not surprisingly, these have also become strong symbols in modern Halloween and horror literature, which were thought of as ugly because evil is ugly. While witch hunts are thought of as a medieval phenomenon, the height of the atrocities actually occurred between the 15th and 18th centuries. In fact, it was not until 1320 that the Church officially declared witchcraft as a heresy. While there is no definitive answer as to the number of the people tried for witchcraft, it seems safe to say that tens of thousands, perhaps as many as hundreds of thousands, were accused. Following the advice in the witch-hunted manual Melius Maleficarum, the hammer of witch hunter used a variety of deaths to strike the accused, believing that a witch wouldn't live when could they employ a variety of instruments to test this theory. So, of course, the instruments often were blunt. Birthmarks were often seen as the mark on the devil. In a voyeuristic show, hunters would strip their victims before the crop to inspect for the devil's mark. Another test often shown in medieval hookup involved dunking of work, throwing women into a pond of well in their clothes. In was thought that they had been enriched by the weather of baptism and thus were witches. If they sank, it indicates that they were innocent. Of course, this could also involve drowning, but at least they were innocent and their soul was saved. Confession under torture was another favorite, using a variety of grisly devices which hunters who tried to extract occupations. Also, torture was sometimes held in secret. It often was a public spectacle, providing entertainment for the masses. The key to all of this was that the accusations alone often was enough to make you guilty. A person found guilty of witchcraft often was accused for their crimes. Also, apparently, accusations and other torture Holden's confessed could result in a change at revelation, a reform which could be sent to a monastery or convent. In the popular imagination, however, the proper way of disposing of a witch is by burning at stake. This is not bolstered by the faith of John or Ark. While many were burned at the stake, other methods of accusation also were employed. Hanging seems to have been a preferred method. An image of which hanging can be seen in period engravings. Others were behaved stones broken on the wheel, drawn and fractured, and so on. In the famous Helen, which himself by placing him under a board, and then peeling rocks on top until he was crushed. The same witchcraft trials occurred in Salem, Massachusetts in 1992. In the incident, the accusation of 3 young girls against their neighbors touched of a series of a church and counter-shares that eventually resulted in hundreds of people being accused and held for witchcraft. The accusations grew quickly because of the chain-reaction nature of the investigation. Once a person was accused of witchcraft, on way to avoid further harassment and punishment, had to confess, ask for absolution, and they turned over the names of the other witch in their coven. Since there was no coven, the newly accused could protest their innocence, but eventually they too would see that confession and accusation was the way out. 20 eventually were accused the hysteria in death when the governor was convinced by increased matter than spectral evidence should not be accepted in the trials. Without this, the prosecution's case fell apart. There have been a number of attempts to explain the Salem hysteria, but the one that seems most likely involves disputes between 2 different factions in the town of Salem. Since then, the term witch hunt has been used to refer to any chain reaction of unfounded accusations. It may have first been used in this sense by George Orwell. The most famous were the anti-communist investigations of the 1950s, which culminated in the McCarthy hearings of 1954. Arthur Miller's play The Cure stood uncertainly above the same. Witchcraft trial was symbolically a crisis of this investigation.